This is a beginner's guide that by no means aims to cover all mechanics or roles, nor does it go into meta gameplay. It is purely aimed at getting you started and hit the ground running. It is also a long guide, which is why I chopped it up into chapters for your convenience. Use those chapters to check the bits you want to know about. Feel free to skip the rest. Foxhole is a massive multiplayer war simulation game where you, as a single soldier, join one of the two factions in the war to gain control over Siva, the land that makes up the middle part of the continent Raqqa. Depending on the overall player population, there might be multiple shards open. Shards are basically separate wars and worlds. You can participate in all active shards if you want to. The shard selection can be found in the main menu in the top right. Simply click on Change and select the shard you want to play on. The faction you choose will be the faction you have to play for the rest of that war. You can, however, play different factions on different shards if you want to. The world is divided into 43 regions, or maps, that are hexagon-shaped and are all interconnected at their borders. Each region is divided into region zones that can be controlled by capturing, destroying, and rebuilding the base in that zone. A victory base is a special type of base, and one is present in all mainland regions. The faction that owns a predetermined amount of victory bases first will win the war. Because of the scale and the scope of the game, wars can take over a month to be finished. Though fighting on land as infantry, artillery, or armored crew, or at sea as sailor or submarine crew is important, it is not the only option to shape the outcome of the war in Foxhole. A large part of the game consists of the logistics operations to produce and deliver the necessary supplies, weapons, and ammunition to the front lines. This includes things like farming resources, building and maintaining production facilities, and producing and transporting supplies in truck, flatbed, ship, or on train. Besides the large logistical side, there is also a large engineering side, which takes care of building and maintaining bases, frontline defensive lines, and special superstructures. Almost every vehicle, weapon, bullet, base, and production facility you encounter is player-made. The task is to help your faction in any way you can, whether that is a soldier, sailor, medic, artillery crew, supply driver, resource gatherer, or engineer, it doesn't matter. The Wardens are the soldiers of the nation of Siva and are typically stationed in the northern parts of the map. Dressed in double-breasted blue jackets, brown trousers, and with their typical helmets, they are easy to distinguish on the battlefield. The Colonials are the soldiers of the Masaean Republic and are typically stationed in the southern part of the map. Their uniform is made up of a green jacket with a very distinguishable dark cape, dark grey pants, and a simple helmet. The vehicles, gear, and weapons for both factions are designed asymmetrically, so the stats and models of different weapons and vehicles are different for each faction. Some neutral items are the same for both factions. When entering a war for the first time, you are asked to choose a faction. Choose wisely, because wars take a long time to finish, and once chosen, you are locked to that faction for that war. If one of the factions has a higher overall joining rate, the game will show that one faction is at capacity and that you should expect longer queue times. This does not mean that you cannot join this faction, merely that it might be harder to get to maps quickly without ending up in a queue. Once you pick your faction, you will spawn on what is known as Home Island. When you do, you will see in the top left a message saying, "You will be faction locked to the Colonials in 6 minutes. Log out before this time to switch sides." Once these 6 minutes elapse, you will not be able to switch sides again until the next war starts. To switch factions within this time frame, press Escape and select Log Out. Left-click to continue from the splash screen, and in the main menu, click Play to go to the faction selection screen again. Now select the faction you actually wanted to play as. Foxhole is a classless system where each player is the same. Levels do exist but do not serve a real function. Ranks, however, do exist and serve a limited function. The corporal rank unlocks the ability to create map posts, and the staff sergeant rank unlocks the ability to create regiments in-game. Beyond those ranks, they are merely cosmetic and for roleplay purposes only. Rank is gained by having other players commend you for your actions. Each consecutive rank will require more commends to achieve. Anybody can play any role, provided that the tools or weapons for the roles are available. Roles are also not predefined, so combining different roles into one is possible, though probably not advisable. Every player has the same stats, like health points, stamina, and carry capacity. Using different uniforms can change these stats slightly. For instance, a medic uniform allows a player to carry more medical supplies, but at the cost of ammo carrying capacity and 1 inventory slot. To participate in the war, you will have to choose a place to deploy at. If you open your map on Home Island by pressing M, you will see tutorial areas where you can familiarize yourself with most of the game mechanics. State of the War tents, where you can see the state of the war, and deployment points, which you can use to travel to your chosen destination. When you want to participate in the fighting as infantry or medic, or want to go out and scout and gather intelligence, you want to be on a front line. To find one, press M to open a map, locate a state of the war tent and go there. When you are close, press E to open its map and look for where blue meets green on the map, and where infantry, circles, and vehicles, triangles, from both sides are close to each other. When you want to help with the logistics side of things, you generally want to be looking for a map with a logistical hub. That is a town that has a garage, truck icon, a salvage field, screw icon, a refinery, hammer icon, and a factory, factory icon. To find one, in the legend on the left, hold shift and left click on the refinery icon twice. This will toggle all other icons off and turn on only the refinery icon. Then, also select the garage, salvage field and factory icons by simply left-clicking on them in the legend, and find a map that displays all of these in one town. When you want to be an engineer building defenses, you basically can end up on any map. Where on front lines you generally slap down defenses where and when you can, and in the mid or back lines have more time to think and plan ahead. Once you have found a map and location that fits what you want to do, you have to deploy there. For this, you open a map again and look for the deployment points. Go to one of the deployment points and press E to open the deployment map. With the deployment map open, you can use the search bar in the top left to search for a specific map or even place. Bases that you can spawn at will be indicated by a diamond icon on the map. Hovering over them will give you a bit more information regarding your site's population and whether this map is contested or not. Spawn points that are in desperate need of reinforcements will be flashing red. To travel to a spawn point, simply left-click on the diamond icon on the map. It is usually considered a good idea to start out fighting on the front lines and to get into other roles after that. When arriving at your chosen frontline, you will spawn at a base. If you press E, you can open the menu of that base. Your first order of business is making sure your spawn is set here. So look for an icon that looks like a house in the Actions panel. If you click this, you can see that this base is already your home spawn, or this base is already your forward spawn. This means that when you die, you can respawn here, provided that there are soldier supplies. On the top left of the menu, you will see the inventory of the base, and in the bottom left, your own inventory. In the middle, you will find the stockpile of the base. Here you can use your mouse to click the icons on top, or use the A and D keys to filter the supplies in the stockpile by category. All, small arms, heavy ammunition, utility, medical, resource, and uniforms. To get yourself a rifle, you simply navigate to the small arms category and hover over a weapon to get more information on it. This will show you, among other things, which ammunition type it uses. For the rifle, you see it is 7.62mm. If the necessary ammunition for a weapon is in stock, it will be displayed next to the weapons that use it. To grab the rifle, simply left-click on the icon, which will assemble it into your inventory. To grab the ammunition, left-click on its icon to pull it into your inventory. Escape out of the base menu and press Tab to open your inventory. As you can see, this is divided into two parts. In the bottom, you will find your backpack, which now holds your rifle, 7.62mm ammunition, and ammunition for the starter pistol. In the top is your equipment, where you can see that in your primary equipment slot is your starting kit hammer, and in your secondary slot is your starting kit pistol. Your tertiary slot is empty. The other available slots are for weapon attachments, headgear, uniforms, radios, and large items. To use your rifle, it needs to be in your equipment. So simply left click on the rifle in your backpack. This will swap it with the starter kit hammer that is in the primary slot. Now press Tab to close your inventory and press 1 to actually pull out the rifle. In the top left, you will see which weapon or tool you have equipped. It also shows you that currently there is no ammo in the rifle. To reload it, simply press R. The same is true for our starter kit pistol. Press 2 to pull it out and press R to reload. With a weapon out, hold down the right mouse button to aim and press the left mouse button to fire. Reloading a weapon that still has ammo in it will get rid of the existing magazine or clip and replace it with a full one. When aiming, you can see a white line extending from your weapon to your aim point. Where your aim line is fully white is where your weapon does its maximum damage. Where it starts to fade out is where your damage drops off, and where the line is gone, you will do no damage at all. The tracers you see when you fire your weapon are not your actual bullets, and only serve as a visual indicator of where you are firing. Around the aim point, you will see 4 white lines like a crosshair. They indicate the accuracy of your shot. The farther apart they are, the less accurate your shots will be. The speed at which these lines converge on your aim point is determined by several factors: your stance, whether you are in cover or suppressed, and the weapon itself. Below your aim point you will see a yellow line indicating aim height. Snapping your aim at an enemy player will change the height. To change your stance, press C to go into crouch position. This will provide a faster accuracy gain and lower aim height and a loss of mobility. It will also make you a smaller target. Press X to go prone. This will provide an even faster accuracy gain and lower aim height, but loses even more mobility. It will also make you an even smaller target. Objects and players in the world can provide you with cover. When you are near an object that provides cover, you can see in the bottom middle of your screen a shield icon. The amount of cover is indicated by how much the shield icon is filled. The closer you are to cover, the more cover is provided, and some cover requires you to crouch. Being in cover comes with bonuses. You gain accuracy faster, and some incoming shots will be absorbed by the cover. Cover is also directional. Having cover in front of you will not mitigate shots coming from the side of you. The direction, however, does not matter for your accuracy gain. Simply having cover will increase your accuracy gain. Your aim line will turn red when it intersects with something that it will hit, and that point is indicated by a white dot in between the white and red part of the aim line. You can use that white dot between the white and red line to aim your shots. Now when you die on the battlefield, you will enter a spectating screen where you have to wait till the timer runs out before you can respawn. When the timer hits 0, you can click the spawn button. Doing this will bring up a menu where you can pick at which spawn point you want to respawn, and how many soldier supplies it has in stock. Currently, only your home spawn point is available because you haven't set your forward spawn point. To respawn, simply left-click the button. Besides your home spawn point, which is a town base, relic base, or border base, you can also have a forward spawn and a medical base spawn. To set a forward spawn, simply run up to any forward base, that is a bunker base, safe house, keep, encampment, or large ship. Press E to open its menu and click the little house icon in the actions panel. Doing so will show you a message in the top left that says, "This bunker base is now your forward spawn point." Clicking it again for good measure will show a message in the middle of your screen. "This bunker base is already your forward spawn point." If you die now, you get to choose between your home and forward spawn. If you choose to spawn at your home spawn point, the forward spawn point you previously set will be removed and will have to be reset. You can only have one home spawn and one forward spawn active at a time. So if you set your forward spawn to another forward base, your previously set forward spawn will be removed. Several structures like pillboxes, bunkers and garrison houses have firing positions you can enter. If you stand close to a pillbox, press Q to hop into it. While you are in the pillbox, you are protected from incoming shots while you can still use your weapons. When you are inside a bunker complex and under a rifle or machine gun garrison, you can press Q to hop into its firing position as well. Here, you can also use your weapon while being protected from incoming fire. You can see the ground level when in a trench or bunker by pressing the left control button. Inside garrison houses, town bases and relic bases are firing ports as well. These are indicated by crosses on the wall and can be entered by pressing Q. When spawning in on your chosen spawn point, press E to open the base menu and make sure your spawn is set by clicking the Set Spawn button in the Actions panel. To put your starter pistol, ammo and hammer away into the base, click the Submit Starter Kit button in the Actions panel. In the base stockpile, select the uniform category and left-click on the medical uniform to assemble it into your inventory. Hovering over it will show you the bonuses it provides. Escape out of the base menu and press Tab to open your inventory. Left-click on the medical uniform in your backpack to swap it with your standard soldier uniform in the uniform slot. Now open the base menu again by pressing E and put the soldier uniform back into the base's inventory by left-clicking on it. In the stockpile, navigate towards the medical category by clicking on the little cross icon and assemble a first aid kit by left-clicking its icon and a trauma kit by left-clicking its icon. Escape out of the base menu, tab into your inventory and left-click on the first aid kit in your backpack to put it into your tertiary equipment slot and left-click the trauma kit to put it into your primary equipment slot. Tab out of your inventory and press 1 to equip your trauma kit. In the top left, you can see it is equipped but is without ammo. If you press 3 to equip your first aid kit, you see that too is without ammo. Open the base menu once more. Now assemble some bandages and blood plasma into your inventory by left-clicking on their icons. The bandages are used in the first aid kit to heal people. The blood plasma is used in the trauma kit to revive people. To load our trauma kit, simply press 1 to equip it and you can see it now has 1 blood plasma loaded into it. Do the same for your first aid kit by pressing 3, and you will see that that loaded the first aid kit as well. Injured people will be showing signs of blood on their uniform or even have blood squirting out of their characters. To heal them, simply run up to them with your first aid kit out, and when you are close to them, hold down the left mouse button to start healing them. Healing them will consume parts of the loaded bandage. If a player is downed and about to die, they will be lying on their backs, reaching for the sky. You can run up to them and press E to carry them over your shoulder to a safe spot. Press 1 to equip your trauma kit, which will also drop the wounded player on the ground, and hold down the left mouse button to start reviving the player. Once you are done reviving them, they are still injured and in need of healing. So, equip your first aid kit by pressing 3 and hold down the left mouse button to heal them up. Other ways of dropping the player are pressing Shift V or going prone. When you get hit and are visibly bleeding, you can bandage yourself to stem the bleeding. Press tab to open your inventory, click on the bandages in your backpack so they swap with your first aid kit in the tertiary equipment slot. Tab out, press 3 to equip the bandage, and hold down the left mouse button to apply the bandage to yourself. Once you are done, you are not bleeding anymore, but you are still injured. Since Foxhole is a team-based game, you are unable to heal yourself at all. Get another medic to fully heal you. When a player dies, there is a chance they leave behind a critically wounded soldier, which are represented by the model of a soldier lying on their side with no name above their heads. These can be picked up by standing over them and pressing V. Once you have the critically wounded soldier over your shoulder, you can look for a field hospital, or medical bunker. Run towards the hospital and press E to open its menu. In the Actions panel, click the Submit Large Item button and then press the Submit Patient button. A critically wounded soldier submitted to a bed will turn into soldier supplies over the course of 10 minutes. Critically wounded soldiers can also be submitted into an ambulance to be driven to a hospital. For this, simply run up to an ambulance with the critically wounded soldier over your shoulder and press V to submit them into the ambulance. When spawning in the Logi Hub, the first thing you want to do is get yourself a truck. Press M to open the map, and in the legend on the left, turn on the storage depot and seaport icons by left-clicking on them so they turn white. If you now hover over the storage depot and seaport icons on the map, you can see their contents. You are looking for the icon of a truck, which looks like this for wardens and like this for colonials. Usually, the depot or seaport inside the Logi Hub has a stockpile of these. Go to the depot or seaport that has a truck in storage. Make sure you do not stand on the loading pad, because that will block it, and press E to open its menu. In the stockpile panel, select the vehicle tab by clicking on the little truck icon. This will open the vehicle stockpile of the depot. To assemble a truck from storage, simply left-click on the truck icon in the stockpile. This will start assembling the truck. Escape out of the menu and wait for the assembling to be done. When you are done assembling, the truck will appear on the loading pad. Now run over to the driver's side and press Q to hop into the driver's seat. Then press L to lock the truck so that nobody has access to the truck. In the top left, you will see in the fuel bar that the truck comes with only a tiny bit of fuel when just assembled. To refuel the truck, drive it to a liquid container that is usually positioned right next to the depot. Press Q to hop out of the truck and press E to open the truck's menu. To simply refuel your truck, left-click the refuel button next to the fuel gauge. This will throw out a hose between the liquid container and the truck and start refueling it. You can stop the refueling by left-clicking the Stop Refuel button. To refuel it by hand, you will need a jerry can of diesel. So walk to the liquid container and press E to open it up. Grab a diesel can by left-clicking on the jerry can icon to assemble it into your backpack. Escape out of the liquid container menu, press tab to open your inventory and click on the jerry can in your backpack so it goes to your tertiary equipment slot. Tab out of your inventory and press 3 to equip the jerry can. Aim at your truck and hold down the left mouse button to refuel the truck. With that done, the first thing you want to do is farm salvage to turn into materials. So press M to open the map and look for the screw icon on the map, which indicates salvage fields. If you hover over the icon, you can see if it currently has any salvage on it. Drive to the salvage fields, hop out of the truck and equip your hammer by pressing 1. Walk to the nodes of salvage on the ground and simply hold down the left mouse button to break them apart and farm them. In the bottom left, you can see the amount of salvage each hit is putting inside your inventory. When your inventory is full, walk back to your truck, open its inventory by pressing E and hold Shift while clicking on the stacks of salvage in your backpack to transfer them to your truck. Keep farming until your truck inventory is full. Salvage on salvage fields can be farmed quicker with the help of a sledgehammer instead of a normal hammer or with the use of a harvester. Salvage can also be found in salvage mines. Press M to open the map and hover over a salvage mine icon to see its stockpile and fuel status. Drive to the mine and open its menu. On the right side is the stockpile. To grab salvage from the stockpile, you can left click to transfer 100 salvage at a time, or shift left click to transfer 300 salvage at a time. To use the salvage, you have to turn it into usable materials at the refinery. So press M to open the map and locate the refinery, hammer icon on the map. Drive to the refinery and press E to open the refinery's menu. On the left, you will see the inventory of the refinery and your own inventory. In the middle, you will find the Refinement and Actions panel, and on the right is the refinery's stockpile with public materials. In the refinement panel, you see that Salvage has 3 different refinement recipes. Basic materials, used to make most supplies and build and repair most structures and vehicles. 2 salvage will be refined into 1 basic material. Diesel, used as standard form of fuel. 10 salvage will be refined into 1 can of diesel. Explosive powder, used to produce most explosive weapons and shells. 5 salvage will be refined into 1 explosive powder. To turn your salvage into basic materials, or BMATs, left-click the salvage icon in the BMAT recipe. This will take 20 salvage at a time from your inventory and start refining that into BMATs. If you want to turn all salvage into BMATs, hold down the Shift button and left-click on the salvage icon in the BMAT recipe. This will pull all the remaining salvage from the truck into the refinery and will turn it into BMATs over the next 5 minutes and 50 seconds. To turn salvage into diesel or explosive powder is the same procedure. Shift-click the salvage icon in the diesel or explosive powder recipe to turn all salvage into explosive powder or diesel. In the bottom of the refinement panel, we also see an expiry timer that is set for 2 days and 1 hour. This means that if we do not add more material to any of the refinement orders, the entirety of our refined materials will be transferred over to the public stockpile. To turn your materials into supplies, you need to bring them to the factory. So, with the refinery open, left-click on the BMAT icon in the BMAT recipe to retrieve all available basic materials, or the maximum amount of basic materials to fill your inventory. Escape out of the menu and press M to open a map and look for the factory. Go to the factory and open its menu by pressing E. On the left, you will find your and the factory's inventories. In the middle, the production panel, and on the left, the output panel. The production panel is separated into different category tabs: small arms, heavy ammunition, utility, medical, resources, and uniforms. To produce supplies, like for instance the Colonial Standard Rifle, the Argenti, open its production category tab. Hover over the icon to get more information, like the price and amount per crate, as well as the ammo type it uses. Left-click the icon to put it into a production order. You can have a maximum of 4 crates per order. The order in the output panel will show the time it takes to complete the order and the amount of materials needed and how many are available. To start the order, press the play button next to it. Orders in the factory are produced in sequence, so if other people already have an order running in the same category as you, your order will be started after theirs is completed. You can also order different supplies in one category. So you can, for instance, order 1 crate of bandages, 1 crate of first aid kits, 1 crate of trauma kits, and 1 crate of blood plasma in one medical order. Some items require multiple different materials to be made. HE grenades, for instance, require BMATs as well as explosive powder. So to make those, go to the refinery and get explosive powder. To pull materials from the refinery's public stockpile, left-click on the explosive powder icon to assemble 20 explosive powder into your inventory. Come back to the factory and open its menu. Go to the heavy arms category and order 4 crates of HE grenades. Scroll up in the output panel and you will see that this will cost us 400 BMATs and 80 EMATs. To produce them, simply press the play button. When you want to deliver the supplies to the front line, you need to be vigilant of enemy ambushes. So, before you begin a delivery trip, you want to grab a radio to have constant map updates. Go to a town hall that has radios and open the tool category of the stockpile. Left-click on the radio icon to assemble a radio into your truck's inventory. Hop out of your truck, grab the radio from the truck. Open your inventory and click the radio so it goes into your radio equipment slot. If you now open your map and toggle on all information layers by shift left-clicking on an icon twice, you will be able to see enemy vehicles and players if they are in range of an intelligence collecting structure. Then drive to the factory to collect the orders you produced. Open the factory's menu and click the green check mark in the output panel to pull the crates from a finished order into your inventory. If you don't retrieve your orders within 60 minutes after they finished, they will automatically turn public and will be deposited into the inventory of the factory. With a truck full of supplies and a radio equipped, open the map and hover over the bases to see their stockpiles. Decide which base you want to deliver the supplies to and start driving there while occasionally checking your map for enemy ambushes. Gates on the roads can be opened and closed from within the truck by pressing E while close to the gate. To cross from one hex into the other, simply drive up to the border until in the bottom left it says press E to travel to. Press E, and after you travel over the border, continue your drive. Drive your truck towards your destination base and open its menu by pressing E. Right-click on the crates in your inventory and select Submit All to Stockpile. This will directly submit all supplies into the stockpile of this base. If you only want to deliver supplies, you can simply open the map and hover over seaports and storage depots to see what they have in store. If they have supplies that are needed somewhere else, simply drive to the depot, open its menu, and shift-click on the crate that you want to deliver to assemble 3 of them into your inventory. To deliver the public crates, the procedure is the same. Drive to the base you want to deliver at, press E to open its menu, right-click the crates in your inventory, and select Submit All to Stockpile. For a more in-depth look of logistics, check out my full logic guide. Link in the description. To build the basic active defensive structures in Foxhole, pillboxes, you will need basic materials in your backpack and a hammer. Press 1 to equip your hammer, press B to open the build menu, and in the defensive structure category, simply left-click on the rifle pillbox icon to start placing it. This will put a blueprint under your mouse cursor. In green around the pillbox blueprint, you can see the field of fire of the rifle pillbox. Gaps in the green indicate that something is obstructing the field of fire. To place the blueprint, simply left-click and then walk up to the blueprint and hold down the left mouse button to hammer in the necessary 60 basic materials. The machine gun pillbox has a limited fire arc. If you hold down the right mouse button, you can change the orientation of the structure. Where the firing arc overlaps with the other pillbox, you can see that its field of fire is obstructed. The machine gun pillbox will take 75 BMATs to build. The anti-tank pillbox, just like the rifle pillbox, has a 360-degree firing arc and costs 85 BMATs to build. All pillbox types built by your faction can be entered. Simply stand close to it and press Q to hop in. Inside the pillbox, you are protected against incoming fire, but not gas and heat, and you are able to use your weapons from within. Inside the machine gun pillbox, you will have a limited firing arc. If a pillbox gets destroyed when you are in it, you will die with it. To have activated pillboxes, they need to be within the activation radius of a base that has active AI. To have the AI activated, a base has to have the provisional garrison unlocked, and at least 10 players need to have their spawns set at that base. When it has small or large garrison unlocked, the amount of set spawns does not matter anymore. When a pillbox is activated, also known as having AI, the model will show a large flag on top of it. If it is not activated, it will have a small flag. Activated rifle pillboxes will automatically fire 7.62mm ammo on any enemy player, vehicle or structure within a 23-meter radius around it. When fired upon, they will retaliate within a 41-meter radius. Activated machine gun pillboxes will automatically fire 12.7mm ammo at any enemy player, vehicle or structure that is within its firing arc and within 27 meters. When fired upon, they will also retaliate within a 41-meter radius. Activated anti-tank pillboxes will fire 20mm ammo at enemy vehicles within a 26-meter radius. When fired upon, they will retaliate within a 50-meter radius. The tools and materials needed for passive defensive structures depend on the type of passive defense you are trying to make. To dig trenches and foxholes, you need a shovel. Make sure the shovel is in your primary equipment slot and press 1 to equip it. Press B to open the build menu and open the trench category. Select a trench by left-clicking on it. This will place a blueprint under your mouse cursor. You can hold down the right mouse button to rotate the blueprint. If you are happy with the orientation, simply left-click to confirm the placement. Walk up to the dig site and hold down the left mouse button to dig out the trench. If you press B again and select the trench connector by clicking on its icon, you can see that the normal trench has 4 points where other trenches can connect. In the middle of the long edges and at the short edges. Left-click once to place the starting position of the trench connector. Then move the mouse to lengthen it and hold down the right mouse button to change the orientation of the end. Left-click to confirm the shape of the trench connector and walk up to the dig site and hold down the left mouse button to dig out the trench. Trenches provide a defensive position from which you can use your weapons, and that will provide you with full cover when near the edge. To remove a trench, you can fill it in. For this, you equip your shovel, press F to go into upgrade mode and aim at the trench. Press E to go into the upgrade menu and select the fill in option. This will turn the trench into a dig site again, which, once fully dug, will remove the trench. To remove a trench you made, you equip your shovel, press F to go into upgrade mode, aim at the trench and press E to open its upgrade menu. Click the demolish button in the actions panel and this will remove the trench if you fulfill all the requirements. If you want to learn how to make a bunker base, I've got a 3-part video series on that, link in the description. Barbed wire can be placed by assembling a piece of barbed wire from a stockpile or pallet. Press B to open the build menu, and in the defense menu select the barbed wire. With the blueprint under your mouse cursor, left click to place the start of the barbed wire, and move the mouse to pull it out. Hold down the right mouse button to change the orientation, and use the scroll wheel to change the curvature. Left click again to confirm the shape. Walk up to the blueprint and left click once again to submit a barbed wire piece into the blueprint. Assemble the remaining 2 pieces of barbed wire and submit those into the blueprint by left clicking as well. Barbed wire when placed will not injure soldiers on foot, but it will slow them down significantly. Vehicles are not affected by it. You can also make barbed wire fences with barbed wire. For this, equip a piece of barbed wire and press B to open the build menu. In this case, you select the barbed wire fence. The rest is the same. Right-click to change orientation, left-click to place, and scroll wheel to change the curve. You cannot climb over barbed wire fences, and you cannot drive trucks, cranes, and CVs through it. Heavier vehicles will destroy the barbed wire fence though. You can remove barbed wire and barbed wire fences with a wrench or with enough explosive damage. To use the wrench, equip the wrench, crouch close to the barbed wire, and press the left mouse button. Sandbags can be used to make sandbag walls. For this, you equip a sandbag from a pallet or stockpile and open the build menu by pressing B. Select the sandbag wall by left-clicking on it, which will place a blueprint under your mouse cursor. Hold down the right mouse button to change the orientation, and left-click to place the start point. Move the mouse to lengthen the sandbag wall, hold right mouse button to change the orientation of the endpoint, and use the scroll wheel to change the curvature. When you are happy with the shape, left-click to confirm and place the blueprint. Then, walk up to it and press left mouse button to submit the sandbag. Assemble 2 more sandbags and submit them to the blueprint to finish the sandbag wall. You can upgrade a sandbag wall to a higher version of itself. For this, you equip another sandbag and press F to go into upgrade mode. Aim at the low sandbag wall and press E to upgrade it. This will turn it into a blueprint again. Submit 3 sandbags into the blueprint to build the high sandbag wall. Low sandbag walls can be vaulted over by players and provide full cover when crouched behind them. High sandbag walls cannot be climbed or shot over. Placing a low sandbag wall behind the high sandbag wall allows you to have full cover and shoot over it while standing up. Sandbag walls can be removed by running them over with any vehicle, except a mighty bicycle, or dealing sufficient explosive damage to it. You can use metal beams to make tank traps that will block the movement of any vehicle and infantry. To deny access to certain areas, you can use minefields. To make a minefield, you will need a shovel and 10 mines, either anti-personnel mines or anti-tank mines. Equip your shovel and open the build menu by pressing B. Select a minefield by left-clicking it. Change the orientation of the minefield by holding down the right mouse button and left-click to confirm the starting point. Move the mouse to lengthen the minefield and left-click again to confirm the length of the minefield. Walk up to the blueprint and dig it out. When the minefield is dug, grab a mine from an inventory or stockpile by clicking on it, or from a pallet by pressing V. Press F to go into upgrade mode and aim at the minefield. Press E to open the upgrade menu and select the minefield type. Left-click to confirm. Now submit 10 mines of that type into the minefield by getting close to it and left-clicking. Once all mines are submitted, the minefield will be functional. Anti-personnel mines will be triggered by anything going over them, killing infantry and damaging vehicles. Anti-tank mines will not be triggered by infantry or unarmored vehicles. Minefields that had some mines explode are considered damaged and can therefore be repaired with a hammer and basic materials. Stand close to the minefield and hold down the left mouse button to repair and restore the amount of mines in the minefield. Mines can also be placed individually. For this, equip a mine and press B to go into placement mode. Simply left-click to place the mine. Mines placed this way can be wrenched to be removed. Damaged vehicles and structures can be repaired by using a hammer and basic materials. Simply pull out your hammer with B mats in your inventory and walk up to any vehicle or structure that is damaged and hold down the left mouse button to repair it. Structures that are on fire cannot be repaired. To repair those, the fire has to be dealt with first. Repairing bunkers, bases, and trenches is generally best done from the inside. When repairing vehicles on the front line, stand on the side of them while repairing, so it can back up or drive forward without you blocking it or them running you over. Repairing an armored vehicle by hand will not repair its armor, only restore its health. All player built structures will decay over time and receive damage this way. This can be prevented by using maintenance supplies in a nearby base or a maintenance tunnel. Check my maintenance tunnel guide for more details on this. When you are trying to place the blueprint of a structure, the center of the blueprint will give you additional information. Whether the structure will be within the AI activation radius of a base, if it will be within the radius of a decay preventing supply source, and if building is obstructed. When your structure can have activated AI, and it is within the radius of a base that has activated AI, the text will read, so and so many meters to nearest base. If it is not within the radius of a base, or it is within the radius of a base but the base does not have AI unlocked, the text will read, not connected to base, defenses will be inactive. When a building site is obstructed, it will turn red and the center text will state the issue. Surface not suitable means that this type of structure can simply not be built on this type of surface. Build site blocked by puddle means that a puddle is in the way and needs removing. Area obstructed means something else is in the way, for instance rails or a building. When building close to a map's border, it will be in the Rapid Decay Zone, or RDZ, and this will be indicated by the message, near border will rapidly decay, not preventable. This means that the only way of keeping a structure here alive is by constantly repairing it by hand. Intelligence is key in Foxhole. Knowing where enemy bases and defenses are, or where enemy vehicles or infantry are moving, can help a push or defense tremendously. The basic intelligence network consists of watchtowers, observation bunkers and observation towers, and safe houses. These are displayed on the map as diamond-shaped icons in the color of the faction they belong to. If they are active, they will have a semi-transparent circle around them indicating the maximum radius under which they gather intelligence. In the bottom left of the map, you will find extra information, like the name of the map you are on, the in-game day and time, the shard you are on, and an indication of when your map was last updated. Having a radio or radio backpack equipped will keep your map updated automatically. To manually update your map, go to any base and open its menu by pressing E. In the top left, it will show you that this updated your map intelligence. And if you press M to open a map again, you can see that your last intel update was just now. One of the easiest ways to help gather intelligence on an active frontline is with a radio backpack. With a radio backpack equipped, you will basically be a walking watchtower. So come to a base that has radio backpacks, press E to open a menu and select the tool category. Assemble a radio backpack into your inventory by simply left-clicking the icon. Tab out of the menu, tap into your inventory, and click on the radio backpack so it goes into your radio equipment slot. With the radio backpack equipped, you will automatically gather intelligence in a 60-meter radius around your character, and will receive constant map updates yourself. Intelligence revealed by a backpack will only stay on the map for a couple of minutes if it is not revealed again. Another way of providing more intelligence is by building watchtowers in spots that are not covered yet by the intelligence network. For this you will need your hammer, a minimum of 60 basic materials, and you preferably have a radio equipped. Run to a spot that isn't covered yet by the intelligence network and press 1 to pull out your hammer. Press B to go into the build menu, and in the defense category, left-click on the watchtower icon. This will put the blueprint under your mouse cursor. You can hold down the right mouse button to rotate the watchtower, but this has no effect on the function of the watchtower. Left-click to place the blueprint and hold down the left mouse button to hammer in the necessary BMATs. While you are building, you are pretty vulnerable, so generally you want to keep the blueprint between you and the enemy's general direction. When the watchtower is finished and you press M to open your map, if you have a radio equipped, you can see that after a little while, the watchtower comes online and starts to gather intelligence in an 80-meter radius. Besides extending your faction's own intelligence network, you can also tap into the enemy's intelligence network. This can be done by placing a listening kit on a tripod within 80 meters of an enemy intelligence gathering structure. For this job, you ideally want to have a scout uniform, binoculars, a radio or radio backpack, and a tripod and listening kit. When you find a base that has these items, open the base menu and navigate towards the uniform category. Click the scout uniform to assemble it into your inventory. Escape out of the base's menu, press tab to open your inventory and click on the scout uniform in your backpack to swap it out for your normal soldier's uniform. Open the base menu again and submit the soldier's uniform. The scout uniform has a unique ability where every map intel scan, the wearer has an 80% chance of not being seen by any map intel gathering structure or tool. That is, observation bunkers and towers, watchtowers, safe houses, scout vehicles, radio backpacks, and storage and base ships. This will make it hard, though not impossible, for the enemy to locate and hunt you. Open the tools category of the base, click on the binoculars to assemble them into your inventory, and escape out of the menu. Open your inventory by pressing tab and click on the binoculars icon to put them into your secondary equipment slot. Binoculars can be used to see up 125 meters away from your character by holding down the right mouse button while the binoculars are equipped, and it will display the azimuth and the distance from you to what you are aiming at. Grab a tripod from the base as well. Since the tripod is a large item, you won't be able to use any other tools. So, if you for example press 2 to equip your binoculars to scout ahead, you will automatically drop the tripod. Pressing V will pick up the tripod again. Use the binoculars to scout ahead and walk into enemy territory. Stay at least 35 meters away from enemy defensive structures so you do not trigger them. When you spot an enemy intel gathering structure, make sure you are within 80 meters of it and press B to start placing the tripod. This will put a blueprint underneath your mouse cursor. You can use the right mouse button to rotate the tripod, though this does not matter for the listening kit's functioning. Left click to deploy the tripod. Then bring the listening kit to the same position, and when you are close to the deployed tripod, press B to go into deployment mode. When you bring it close to the tripod, it will snap to it, and when it turns yellow, you can left-click to deploy it. If you now press M to open the map, you can see that after a short while, the white transparent circle indicating the Watchtower's intel gathering radius will appear, and the Watchtower icon itself will start flashing, indicating it is being tapped. When placed within 80 meters of multiple intel gathering structures, it will tap the intel gathered from all of them. Listening kits will also tap into enemy radio backpacks and intelligence gathering vehicles like the LUV frigates and destroyers. You could have had your mitts on this video a long time ago, if it wasn't for Crowd9er pointing... Son of a... If it wasn't for Crowd9er pointing out the mistakes, both in information and judgment, I made in this video. I guess that warrants a thank you somehow. So thank you. Also, a big thank you to WLL for allowing me to take footage at their facility and giving me a heads up when they were transporting things